Welcome to tonight's show. You're with Tom, Brian and Steve, and this is From the Sidelines. And as we do it every time this week, we're going to talk about the round of NRL that's just been played, which was round 7, gentlemen. Mm-hmm. Season's getting on.
It is, round 7.
Yeah, we're almost close to a third of the way through.
Quarter. This is 27 rounds. So that's nearly four times.
Oh, I was thinking of, because it's round 8. But anyway, okay.
Yeah, okay.
I failed math.
Obviously.
How are we?
Well, we're all right because we're sitting over here as rugby league supporters. Steve? Steve, care to say anything? Steve?
No.
You either are you changing teams or are you wearing red and white for another reason?
I understand.
Steve?
Let me explain.
No,
I understand.
Explain it. I'm going to keep talking over him.
That Joel photoshopped a picture of me in Swans gear.
Oh, sure.
Photoshopped. Let me tell you, that was not me. That was someone else that he superimposed. If you have a look at the photo close, you'll see it.
Yeah.
What's the game?
What game?
Yes, I think Steve's jumping ship.
Yes.
Look, the bunnies are anchored the bunnies are anchored to the bottom of the ladder. He says that he's going to stay loyal, but he goes and watches an AFL game.
The Swans are like 2 seconds.
And not only does he watch an AFL game, but he wears red and white. I think he's gone.
Listen, let me say, it's not true.
Barry would be your extra best friend if you actually swapped the red and white.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen either.
Graham follows both those teams because they're red and white.
You know what? I was going to say the one good thing about AFL is, but I can't think of it at the moment.
No.
Okay, round 7, gentlemen. Started out with a Storm 18 against the Roosters 12. Wasn't this a controversial game?
There are a few bad calls. There's been bad calls in every game, though.
Unfortunately, they were worth 6 points.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Yeah, there always are.
Yeah, I know. So, penalty or no penalty when Big Nelson pushes Qatar in the back?
Well, apparently by the letter of the law,
penalty.
It's a penalty.
Penalty.
It was.
Yeah, of course it was penalty.
But it was a very light push. I don't think he actually...
You push or you don't push. You can't be a little bit pregnant.
Well, no, you can.
Okay.
You can be a little bit pregnant. You can be very pregnant.
Well,
early in the days, it's a little bit pregnant. Later, it's a lot pregnant.
But pregnant is pregnant. Push is push.
He already had momentum. I don't think he created any more momentum by pushing.
The real point about it is 3 Roosters players should have kept that guy off the ground.
Of course they should have, yeah.
They should have actually just taken him out.
Yeah.
That's what should have happened. But, there's a try that shouldn't have been scored. Shouldn't have been awarded.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And Robinson is actually copping a lot of flack for some of his comments. People started to turn on him.
I thought he was actually quite measured when he said, look, if you look at the law, he didn't blow up. He said, if you look at the law, it's clear. You push, it's a penalty. It can't be any clearer than that. He wasn't having a dummy spit so much. They asked him and they said, look, it's pretty clear.
Yeah,
and he didn't blame that for the game being lost anyway.
No, I don't think he should have. Either.
I thought that Storm laid all over the Roosters.
Storm always do
it. And I don't think the Roosters did it nearly as much as the Storm did. Yeah. And it drove me nuts the whole night. Yeah. So look, we weren't at our best. Our attack is still clunky. I think it's good to have Sam back this week. But look, I thought both teams' defence was excellent. I really actually think that both teams, because when you look at the tries that were scored, I think everyone was scored on the 5th tackle from kicks. So that's just something about your line defence. So, I was pleased at least that we defended well most of the time. There were 2 dodgy tries and we couldn't score, very well.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Brian, do you have something to say about that game?
No, I'm just curious as to why Coach Robinson didn't then talk about all the decisions that went the Roosters' way. But, I guess that's not his job.
Does any coach talk about the things that go his way?
But you know what? Because I used to think that Robbo did that very well. But I actually like the way that Anthony Seibold handles press conferences. But he doesn't say anything. He goes, yep, refereeing was pretty bad, both teams. We won, we lost, that's it. Like, he keeps it very, very general.
He's only been there 8 weeks.
Yeah, no, he's not. He was there all last year.
Oh, was he?
Oh, my goodness.
I didn't notice.
So look, I don't know. I'm personally over Robbo's whinging, to be honest. I'm one of those ones that I'm just over it.
Can I call you Gordon Tellis from now on?
No, hang on. Look, in that game there were trips, there were pushes, there were shoves. There was the Roosters doing everything they could to win as well. And that's the highlighted issue.
And I want to discuss that as well.
Well, it had the most impact because there was 12 points involved.
Well, Teddy's trip.
Yep.
Can we get serious about tripping?
Well,
it
we can't.
Always used to be
A standoff.
Well, yes.
It was a
I'm happy
send-off.
with a bin. It should be a bin.
I thought he should have
blatant
been.
one
I
like
thought he
that.
probably should have been binned because he stuck his hand out, and the natural momentum of his body meant that he had to stabilise, and his leg went out to stop him from tripping over, and he tripped the other guy. Well, he actually didn't trip him; he had his leg in the way.
Yeah.
So technically, it's a trip, but I don't think there was much intent.
Were there two in that match, or was it one the Roosters match last week as well?
I don't know.
No, yeah, I don't think there was two. I don't remember there being.
Then there was one like it's yeah. I don't know. Look, I'm over it.
I think it's embarrassing for the game to not take action on trips, on blatant trips. I honestly think it's.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm over it. I'm over the problem is I think, and Tom agrees with me. This Tom, not that Tom. Gus Gould actually made a point during the week where he said, you know what? He said we have good rules, and then the referees don't interpret them properly. And so that push by Nelson, yeah, technically you're right. You know, you can't be a bit pregnant. You're pregnant or you're not. It was a push or it wasn't. It was a push. Had no consequence. Like the ref made the right call, even though the letter of the law says it was the wrong call.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a dozen incidents like that in a game. I don't know.
All right, what do we want to say about the teams? Melbourne, I thought were very good.
Yeah, Xavier Coates was excellent again.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Yes, really
I hate how good he is.
Yeah. I was going to say
He's not a New South Welshman, is he?
Oh,
the difference between the Melbourne and most other teams is they don't play structure as a general rule. They don't play 5 passes out the side. You know, like they don't do what the Rabbitohs did when they were at their best.
Yep.
That is, get the opposition in the position where you can pass the ball to the side and Johnson scores.
Yeah.
What they do is they look for holes or they create holes and then they get through those holes and they score fluky tries. They score tries that are unconventional. Like that try of Jerome Hughes was brilliant.
Yeah.
But you don't see many teams scoring tries like that. And so they tend to score fluky or unconventional tries. And that's what frustrates me, I think, sometimes, because you think, okay, yeah, they're defending well, and where's the attack? And all of a sudden, where'd that come from? You know? Yeah. There doesn't seem to be any sort of... There's no block plays, that sort of thing.
Okay. Let's go on to Dragons 30, Warriors 12.
I didn't see this coming.
Well,
no one saw this coming.
There was a few that tipped the Dragons, but only the
Dragon
loyal
supporters,
ones.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And what amazed me was not that the Warriors lost and the Dragons won, but the scoreline by which they won and lost.
Yeah, and it wasn't like the Warriors weren't trying. I mean, I think that I don't know what's going on with the Dragons. But
they seemed lost though through the game. They just didn't seem to be able to get into the swing of the game.
Well, they
Now,
didn't seem to
the
recover.
Dragons.
They didn't seem to recover. A lot of times, what we've said about the Warriors of late has been that they're resilient. They can get down to 12 down, and they'll find a way to get back into the game.
Yep.
This time they just didn't. We've all talked about Lomax, how good he's been.
He's so good.
He's been tremendous, and I think their forwards are making a lot of ground. There just seems to be that little bit of Flanagan in there. I think that little bit of hard edge starting to come. What he had with the Sharks.
And I've got to say, I'm impressed with Kyle Flanagan.
Yeah.
I think he's doing reasonably well, and he doesn't need to be the superstar. Ben Hunt's there for that, but he supports off those guys. And he supports off.
Probably
his
doesn't
forwards.
help that his dad's probably giving him lots of encouragement.
Oh, probably.
And, hopefully he's being fair with him in terms of the team.
Well, I think if you look at the team the way it's going, I think he is being fair. I don't think he's just playing him because he's his son.
No.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Coach Seabold has said a number of times this year, you just play to your weapons.
Yeah.
You play to your strengths. And Flanagan is a decent player. But he was asked at the Roosters and then the Dogs to be the playmaker.
And he's not that.
And it's not going to work for him. What he is a really good defensive half who has a reasonable passing game and a fantastic kicking game.
Yeah.
Let him do it.
Yeah.
Why make him organise the attack when he doesn't have to? Yeah. Play to your strengths.
Yeah. Well, look, I thought the Warriors were poor. They just couldn't get into the game. The next one was surprising.
Didn't pick this one. I wish I had.
Dolphins 44, Eels 16. You're going to be polite, right?
The Eels were ahead, 10-0 or something?
Yes, I know.
Well, this is what I'd like to say. We have a listener out there, another Stephen, must be just the name, they're really annoying.
They are.
Says his favourite part of the show is when Steve asks me, have you got anything intelligent to add? And he always laughs at that. And I said to him, I picked the Eels. That was, and being an Eels supporter.
Yes, that's right, yes.
Look at what happened. It
So
just
your
proves
fault
I have nothing intelligent to say. I am not picking the Eels. I told you guys we can't pick them when Mitchell Moses is out, and look at what happens.
Oh, but Mitchell Moses wouldn't have stopped this.
Oh, I don't know. It's the way he plays. He's not the best player in the game, but it's what he does for that team. That
44. How many points were scored in the second half?
Game is
the difference is, if you have a key player out, your team molds around. What happens? All right, so you lose Sam Walker. You know what? The Roosters, they adapt to that.
Yep.
Parramatta are playing exactly the same football as though Mitchell Moses was playing.
Yep.
And so every time it's a Mitch Moses moment, nothing happens. And
true.
so and that is, I think that has to be coaching.
Okay, so 2 weeks ago,
Yep.
the Raiders beat Parramatta 41-8.
Yep.
Last week, Parramatta turned it around and beat North Queensland 27-20.
Just.
And they played reasonably well.
So did North Queensland, yeah.
Yeah. This week, though, they get smashed by the Dolphins, who, by the way, had probably 5 decent players out.
Decent. Better than decent, yeah.
So, Parramatta can't keep going from thrashing to fighting back to thrashing to fighting back.
Yeah, they're not going to this week. It'll be thrashing then thrashing.
You might be surprised.
Oh, yeah. Let's see who you pick. But can I just say, in this game, I don't think the Dolphins were fantastic. I just think Parramatta were actually that bad.
Well, they were, considering what was scored, 34 points in the second half or something?
Yeah, look, and that's taken nothing away from the Dolphins, but I don't think they would have scored that many points against other teams. Parramatta were actually that bad.
Yeah, they were.
Well, I'm sold on what the comment that was made on the TV, so I won't claim it. Was that Wayne Bennett teams play a very simple game plan, and it's defend well and stay in the fight, and they do that. I think that performance was an 80-minute performance, without sort of a lot of this. I think it was very much consistent.
Yep.
And that put them in positions to score tries. I mean, Trey Fuller, apparently been killing it in reserve grade.
Yep.
First game in fullback, and he was tremendous. I mean, they threw everything at him for the first 15, 20 minutes, and he repelled it all.
So you guys were giving me a hard time a few weeks ago regarding JD, Demetrio.
Yep.
Is Brad Arthur under pressure?
I think so.
I said that, yeah.
So.
Absolutely. I made that as a comment. Yeah, Brad Arthur has to be under pressure. I think that team is better than getting beaten 34 points in the second half. And it has to be true, because I've got absolutely no love at all for the Eels. And
so it has to be.
Yeah,
Flash.
I know.
So you're saying it has to be true because you have no love for the Eels.
Yeah, I think.
So therefore, nothing can be false because you have no love for the Eels.
No falseness.
And you hear Brad Arthur, his comment was, they gave up, and there's only half a dozen players who are actually putting in.
Well, I think that's honest. I think that's fair.
Yep. Good.
That's
honestly,
a problem to have.
If you take out Gutherson,
Yeah.
this is a 50-plus scoreline.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Look, Dylan Brown's trying, but he can't replace Mitch Moses.
No. No, not at all. All right, Panthers 22, Tigers 6.
I must confess, I did not see this game.
Brian, you said Panthers winning in a grind.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't think the Panthers were. The Panthers won't blow them off the park.
No, they only really won the game in the last 15, 20 minutes maybe.
And it's not often. Panthers, when they get into that grinding kind of football, they usually just run away with it.
Yeah.
But they just kept grinding and grinding and grinding. And I don't know whether that's a testament to the West Tigers or missing Nathan Cleary. But it was interesting that this wasn't a usual Panthers performance.
Yeah.
It was just a grind. There was not a lot of flash, not a lot of show. They just ground out a win. They did what they needed to do to win. It was, and it's strange, because you can win ugly, but they won 22-6, and it was an ugly win for them. And if you're a Panthers supporter, you must be looking at that going, yeah, that's a good team. Because they looked like they were off.
Yeah.
And they still won well.
Yeah, the Tigers were good. The Tigers were good. I was quite pleased with their performance.
There was one incident in the game, though.
There was.
Now,
and that should have been a bin.
It should have been a bin. It was worse than Nelson's. I didn't watch the game, but the Tigers made a break. I can't remember the winger's name on that side.
No, I can't remember.
Probably.
He's
He's made a break. Justin Olam's backing him up. Justin Olam, dead set, gets tackled without the ball.
He gets ankle tapped.
Yeah, yes. and it wasn't like, I fell over and ankle tapped him. It was, oh my goodness, reach out, and Dylan Edwards smacks his feet out from underneath him, just as the winger passes it back in to where Olam would have been.
Yeah.
And there was no one going to stop him.
No.
How did the bunker, the ref, both miss that? Where's the sin bin?
They didn't. They penalised it.
How was that not a sin bin?
It has to be a sin bin.
How far? This is actually close to the
line. The score was 10-6 or something.
It
was close.
Close to the line.
Oh yeah.
There was no one stopping him.
He would have scored.
Dylan Edwards was the one who ankle tapped him, and there was no one backing up.
And what was... And he's right. It wasn't like it was just a bump or anything like that. He dived through his legs and ankle tapped him.
Dylan Edwards, the new golden boy.
Well, it honestly... that's the thing that I think frustrates us and other fans. That blatantly obvious.
Yeah.
And I know the argument will be, but it wasn't a try-scoring situation. Well, it really
doesn't matter.
was.
You took a player off the ball.
Yeah. It really was, because they would have scored.
And I must admit, when that was pulled up and the first replay showed up, I went and got a drink, and I come back and he's still on the field. I couldn't believe it. Yeah. Like, how was he not in the bin? Anyway,
and there is a thought in some people's minds that the top teams do tend to get a little bit more.
Oh, I think they do.
Yeah, well, that was one of those ones. Yeah.
Well, I think you've only got to look at Melbourne and Penrith, and both this weekend got a lot of calls go their way.
Thank you, bro.
Anyway, well done to the Tigers, because I think they were in this match until 20 minutes to go. They just couldn't sustain the pressure, but they were in it. Sea Eagles 34, Titans 30.
This is a defensive masterclass.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you think someone needs to learn these teachers how to tackle?
I don't know how you score 30 points in a game and lose.
And no, some of the tries were so weak. They were soft on both sides.
Yeah. But some of them were exceptional.
Okay, name one.
The Tanner Boyd one.
Oh yeah, okay.
That was an exceptional try.
Yep.
So there were some good tries as well, but there was some bludgers. Oh my goodness! I mean,
straight through the middle, and just, it was
backwards and forwards too. I mean, I think it was try for
quite some time. I think the league changed seven
times. Yep. And the right team. And I remember it gets to like 20 minutes out, and Steve goes, "What was your comment?"
Oh, I think I said the loser could score 40 points in this game and still lose the game.
And I'm going, I'm happy for the score to remain as it is.
Yeah, that's
no one scored again.
Yeah, no one scored again.
Happy. Look, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how you can score 30 points in this. I don't know what's wrong with my team. I will say this, though. Dean Mattison, we had 4 on the bench.
Well, everyone has 4 on the bench.
Yeah. Thank you. Dean Matheson didn't get on. Carl Lawton played 22 minutes where he threw 3 forward passes and gave away 2 penalties.
Some of them were so far forward it was ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
He's already got him out the door.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted him. I don't want him there. And Aaron Woods played 28 minutes. The most ineffective prop I have ever seen in my entire life.
Hang on. You've got Lodge as well.
Yeah. Aaron Woods, in 28 minutes, made 8 runs for 59 metres.
Yeah, I know.
Look, the Manly are a team that should be in the top 4, but if they could get their consistency together, because when they're good, they're very, very good. When they're not,
they're very, very
they're
good.
ordinary.
They look pretty average, don't they?
They do.
That was Seabold's call last year. You got to bring in your difference between your best and your worst to the same.
Yeah. And the Titans, I don't know where they're going.
I had some hope for them. I mean, I tipped Manly, but I was going, go you Titans.
Well, they got the Warriors this week, and I'll tell you what, after the Warriors got smashed last week,
could be ugly.
It could be ugly. We'll talk about that later. Broncos 34, Raiders 10, and I think the Raiders were lucky to score 10.
Yeah, but this was another game where the Broncos weren't good. The Raiders just made them look better. Like, the Broncos were fast.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of weapons, haven't they, the Broncos? They're just good right across the park. They haven't got many weaknesses, and that's a sign of a strong team. Reece Walsh, he just picks up. Reynolds isn't there. Mam did a great job. Reece just says, "Okay, I'll play a bit of halfback, or first receiver," and just tremendous.
Hate him.
Billy Walters' try was a good one. Little chip and chase, a little grubber.
Yeah. He's another one who's playing really well.
He's done a real because I didn't rate him as a first grade regular hooker, but he's really starting to play well. Apparently, Cobbo and Mam are out.
Yep.
Although they didn't seem injured at the time, I don't think.
I like Chevy Stewart. Like 18, he could still be at school.
He's taken some hits, isn't he?
Mate, somebody's got to say to him, mate, you're an 18-year-old kid. You don't run at the hard hitter. You put on a bit of a step, run at a 5'8", run at a halfback. No. I'll run into the bloke who'll hit me the hardest.
Well, he's trying to make his mark.
Courageous.
Well, it was made on his face. Look, you gotta take your hats off to the kid. And even though he made mistakes in that game, you can see that the potential is there.
Yeah.
Like he didn't dial it back. He just kept going, and he had some howlers. But I reckon he's very much potential in that boy.
And to round off the weekend, Sharks 40.
No.
Oh,
Bulldogs.
No. Oh, Bulldogs, that's right.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, that's right. Bulldogs 36, Knights 12. I didn't see that one coming.
This is another team that relies on one player.
Who? Knights.
Ponga.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. No Ponga, no Knights.
100%.
36
Who's
points.
the other team?
Mitchell Moses.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Manly, Tom Travojevic.
True. Luckily,
The Roosters, Sam Walker. Souths with Latrell, but Latrell can't play.
No, Cam Murray.
What do you say about that game? The Bulldogs, the team that can't score any points, scored 36. And looked good doing it.
They weren't as slick as they had been either.
Nope.
No.
The Knights looked pedestrian. And look, what's his name? Came on with a hip pointer and left with a Liz Frank injury in his foot, which is 12 weeks minimum.
So no state of origin for him, for Bonda?
No finals for the Knights either.
No finals for the Knights. That's it. That's their season gone. I hope this young kid that comes in plays well, but
we should have a board with their list of the teams, and we should go red line through them.
No, thank you. Because you would have put a red line through the Bunnies weeks ago.
Yeah.
Well, there's a start.
They're coming back.
There was an incident in this game, though, Steve. So
there was an incident in the game.
Both. So if you go back, Steve, many years, if you were a mouthy little hooker or halfback, you'd get flogged. A prop would come looking for you, and you'd cop an elbow in the face or a bit of a massage. You might even cop a straight
but unless you're someone like Mario Fennick or George Piggins, and you would have fought back.
Or Tommy Raudonikis.
Yes.
So gone are those days. However, Reid Mahoney thinks that he still lives in those days because he thinks
he's twice as big as what he actually is.
He's a Chihuahua. I've got a Chihuahua. He's a Chihuahua. He thinks he can bark like my dog runs out on the back deck every time there's thunder and barks at the sky. Like, how dare you disturb my peace?
You make a noise, yep.
Reid Mahoney picks out Hetherington, who does have a screw loose, and goes at him all game, and then is surprised that there's repercussions.
I think Reid Mahoney sits down with Mick Ennis videos and watches them at night.
It's insane. But the incident in the tunnel.
Yeah.
So, I dare say it's blown up out of proportion. It was stupid.
Yes.
But I don't think you get a... and for those that haven't seen it, you'd have to be not watching any football at all. Hetherington got binned. Sent off. Binned. And he went down the tunnel, and he actually waited in the tunnel because Mahoney was also binned. And at the end of the tunnel, Hetherington, with, I've got to say, the biggest smile on his face of all time. I was going to say,
I saw that, didn't I? There was a smile on his face.
Yeah. Like, lifted his fists and just, bounced around a bit.
It gave him a bit of...
And then shoved him in the chest.
Yeah.
Now, to me, that didn't look malicious.
No,
if he wanted to hit him, he would have hit him.
Yeah.
And so, in that incident, Hetherington gets a week suspension.
Yeah.
Which I'm not quite sure what for. I guess disrepute.
Yeah.
Mahoney gets a fine. Yeah. All he did was get shoved.
But was the fine for on the field?
No, the fine was for what happened. But you're right. When I saw that incident, I thought, Hetherington's smiling. They're just playing around.
But
it looked like they were playing around.
Hetherington wants to be everybody's friend. Like he had it to do with Jared.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they had a bit of. But then at the end of the game, he came up and wanted to shake Jared's hand. Jared didn't want anything to do with him, and he kept badgering Jared because he's saying, it's just fun and games, that sort of thing. Yeah. And Jared didn't want to know about it.
Yeah, but that's because he got the better of Jared. Yeah, let me tell you, Jared's got a problem of his own.
I just think it was ridiculous. I would have just went, look, you stupid fool. Give him a monetary fine and walk on with it. Yeah. Anyway, poor old Knights now without an enforcer as
And the Dogs weren't, like you said, they weren't bad. But
no.
Okay, Sharks 42, Cowboys 6.
Wow.
Honestly, they were all over them.
Sharks are sleek.
It was 36-0 at one stage.
Wow.
I in my own, whether I've said it out loud, I've been not rating Toby Rudolph for quite some time, but I actually think he's really starting to play some good footy. And I said to a friend at work who's a Sharks supporter the other day, when Adam Fanua-Blake gets there, man, that's going to be a monster pack.
Yeah, it's going to be a big pack.
On and off the bench, and the run on side. They are going to be monsters.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And this wasn't just a case of the Sharks being good. The Cowboys were also very bad.
Oh, they were. Yeah.
Like there was
100%.
At one point, Militalo scored his second try, and he went on the corner, and then he jogged to the middle of the field, where all the Cowboys players are just going.
Yeah.
No one tried to cut him off. No one tried to stop him.
And the Cowboys were on fire early in the year. I don't know what's gone wrong with them.
Because they're an attacking side. And 2022, they came, what did it, 22, 21? Apparently they had the best pre-season they'd ever had, and they were defensively strong and they were fit. And that's why their defence was equal to their attack. Apparently since then, we've had the World Cup. I heard this on the radio today. They said after the World Cup, their pre-season wasn't anything like it ought to have been. Yeah. And so that's why last year they were lacklustre, and this year they haven't got their defensive mindset on.
I don't know.
But they can usually score points, so it must say something about Sharks' defence as well.
Yeah. Anyway, the Cows were bad. Bad.
We also mentioned the... were you going to mention it? The retirement of...
Steve was just about to.
Oh, you were going to say that?
No, go on.
Yeah. Retirement of Dale Finucane.
Has it been announced? Was it? I know they were talking about
because of a number of head knocks. Apparently, he's going to have a presser today. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Very sad. He's been great.
He's got a music career coming up.
Yeah. Rambo. It's called Rambo.
Yeah, it is because he is one of the better players. He's exceptional.
Yeah.
And the Bunnies had the bye.
Bunnies had the bye. And they managed to survive and keep the 2 points.
And we're off the bottom of the table. So here we come. Look out, semi-finals.
You are off the bottom of the table.
Just a little hint. There's, what's it now, round 8?
Yeah.
You won't get 19 buys, okay?
Hang on, but think about this. We're only 2 points away from the Roosters, and we're only 4 points out of the 8.
2 points away from the Roosters.
Well, let's have a look at the 400 games.
You are only 2 points away from the Roosters.
So who wants to do the table?
It's your turn.
We have Sharks and Storm.
I want you to highlight we're only 2 points.
Sharks and Storm on 12 points. Dolphins and Panthers on 10. They've all had their bye. We have the Mighty Sea Eagles in 5th place with 9 points without a bye. The Roosters, Raiders, Cowboys,
Broncos.
Dragons.
I'd like it to be the Roosters, but it's
you're
actually
right.
the
It is the
Broncos.
Bronx. The Donkeys.
I know you can't help.
The Donkeys.
Roosters are in your mind all the time.
Donkeys, Raiders, Cowboys, Dragons, all on 8 points. The Warriors on 7. We have the Roosters, the Dogs, the Tigers, and the Eels all on 6. The Knights and the Rabbits. Steve, look at that. One win behind.
Screaming up the table. Yeah.
You could be in 11th spot for one win.
70 points behind the Roosters.
Yeah, don't worry about foreign again. We will make that up.
Smoke and mirrors.
Starting from Melbourne this weekend, we will make that up.
Smoke and mirrors.
The poor old Titans are the only winless club on 2 points because they did have a bye.
Yes, thankfully for the bye for them.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Round 8.
Done.
This coming weekend. ANZAC Day, 3 games, big weekend of football.
Big weekend.
Starting out on Warriors and Titans.
Wow. I so want the Titans to win.
The Titans are not going to win this.
But the Titans will not win.
No. Not an ANZAC Day game played in New Zealand.
No.
The Tigers will not win this game.
And after having lost last week, the Warriors.
Yep. I don't know. I'm feeling for them, but
Give me a margin, gentlemen.
20.
No, I'm going to go a lot less. No, I reckon it'll be closer. I reckon the Titans will hang in there. No, I don't. No, they'll get.
They're a point scoring team. They can't defend.
Listen, you've got to make up your mind somewhere along. You really on the fence about the Warriors and the Titans?
No, I don't know how much the Warriors are going to win by.
Okay. I've got the Warriors winning as well. Yeah. All right, Dragons and Roosters.
I can't believe the betting odds on this because I think form goes out the window, much like the Rabbitohs and Roosters games on Anzac Day, and the Dragons are getting it together, and the Roosters have.
Well, the Roosters' favourites, are they?
Oh, absolutely favourites. Yes.
Wow.
The Roosters are getting almost pretty much a full strength team back this week, which is encouraging. But not a team that's been playing together for quite some time. So, look, they've got it in them. If they defend well, they give themselves an opportunity. But this could go very close, as they often do.
It's the Dragons' home game played at Allianz.
That's right. So it's good for us because we get 2 games at Allianz against the Dragons. Yeah.
What a rip-off.
I don't know.
Brian?
Fair to me.
Dragons.
Tom, you gone Roosters?
Yes.
I'm leading Dragons.
Hate.
The comeback game of the season, Storm and the Rabbitohs. Now, I know you're going to say, but the Bunnies have never beaten the Storm in Melbourne. But there's a first time for everything.
And it won't be this week.
This decade.
Storm, I reckon by a significant margin.
Storm by 2 tries. They're not scoring 8 points. They're not scoring a lot of points either.
8 points. Well, okay.
I reckon it'll be more than that.
I was hoping they were unconverted tries you're talking about.
It doesn't matter. Losses are lost, Steve.
I know.
Good to see Damien Cook back in first grade.
Yep. Well, even if he's on the bench.
Be interesting to see how John Gray goes again.
No, he's on the bench.
No, he's starting.
No, well, when the team was announced today, he was on the bench.
Well, the team, according to the NRL squad, is, what does that say? Forwards, 8, Shaquille, 9, Damien Cook, 10, Burgess.
No, they're wrong.
He's gonna try hard, but he's had his day.
Sea Eagles and Eels.
Sea Eagles will win this one.
I'll make a deal with you, Brian. You back the Bunnies in the footy tipping competition. I'll back the Sea Eagles on this one.
I don't care who you back. This week we have what's his name? Nathan Brown and Josh Alawai back. So we're basically only 2 players off a full squad now, which is nice.
That's good. We've got about 8 players out.
It was us last week.
Yeah.
Join the club. So yeah, I think Manly will win this in a canter.
In a canter. Yeah, I'm actually leaning the Sea Eagles, Tom.
Yeah, Sea Eagles. Yeah.
And what a place they got a young halfback, Ethan Sanders, the Eels. What a place! What an immense amount of pressure. Because Brookvale's been strong for us.
Yeah.
They play this poor kid in first grade. I mean, I know you've got to make your first grade debut somewhere, but that's got to
win
hurt.
They want to win a game, and they're obviously not working with the halves they've got. So,
oh, jeez, that's tough.
Sure.
It is. Tigers and Broncos.
Bronx.
Really?
I'm going Tigers.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
So I don't really need to ask you.
No Cobbo, no man, but they're getting Reynolds, Haas. Reynolds, Haas, and a back row, I think.
I don't really need to ask him about anything intelligent at the end of the show because he's got nothing, obviously.
We'll see.
You seriously going Tigers?
Yeah, at this stage, yeah, I am.
I'm on Broncos, Cowboys, and Panthers.
Panthers.
Even in North.
How do you feel like a Cowboy comeback? I'm actually leaning towards the Cowboys.
So they might get within 10.
No, they might win it.
No, they won't win it. See, if you laugh at me picking the Tigers at Campbelltown against a Brisbane side that hasn't travelled.
That is on fire.
That beat a busted Raiders that many picked for a spoon this year, just without their key 5'8". Oh, but he'll pick the Cowboys who got lapped by 40.
Yeah, but
against the Premiers,
who aren't playing well, and we just admitted to that.
Well, Cleary's back. It's a different ball game.
Dolphins and Knights.
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry, Tom. Cowboys or
Cowboys? Sorry, no.
Panthers. Dolphins and Knights.
Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Dolphins for me too. Raiders and Sharks.
Sharks.
All right.
At least there's a couple of easy games in there.
I don't know. I'm on the fence about that.
The Raiders are at home, which may count for something. Ricky will have given it a rocket this week.
I'm leaning towards the Raiders at the moment. Brian, you wanted to bring up
what do I want to bring
blowout
up?
scores.
Oh, blowout scores, yeah. I just wanted to contrast.
And you've got about 2 minutes.
I wanted to contrast the start of the season with the last two rounds. Start of the season, every game was tight. Every team was in it.
Yep.
No blowout scores. Like you score 2 tries to 1, you win. Like it was close. Over the last 2 weeks, man, we've had some blowouts. And it's often told. We're often told by around 6 or 7, teams are in their groove.
Yeah.
Does that mean that? Well, I don't know what that means for some of these clubs.
Well, Roosters played the Storm, and it was a small game, and it wasn't they weren't particularly good. And then Manly, who had been really good, put on points, and the Titans put on 30.
Yeah.
So what do you make of that? I don't understand.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, this probably leads us into Tom's point too about which teams are performing better and which ones are disappointing.
Yeah.
Better than expected, yes.
Because some of those that are being lapped, like the Cowboys, and the Raiders, you would have thought, and the Eels, you would have thought would have been performing well.
Well, the Eels have got a bit of an excuse. I mean, Mitchell Moses is a big out.
He is, but he's one player.
And the Raiders were third on the ladder last week, before last week's game. So, it's not like they were playing terrible. But yeah, look, the Rabbitohs are obviously a big disappointment at the moment.
Coming back.
Cowboys, the Knights, but maybe that's exposed the fact that without Kalen, they are a little bit one-dimensional.
Yeah,
I think my 2 surprising teams, as in disappointing, have to be Souths and the Roosters. I just expected more.
You put the Roosters in that.
Yeah, absolutely. They've only won 50% of their games.
Yeah, well, they've won less. There's 3 and 4.
But
the Roosters are notoriously slow starters, and they've lost by 7 points or less every game. So they've been in the contest each time with their defence.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it at the moment. I'd like to see more fluency, but they've also had players out, significant players out as well. So I think next 4 or 5 weeks, I don't think we have as tough a draw. We also had a tough draw to begin with, so I don't think we have as tough a draw. So let's see what happens.
And the teams that are doing better than expected, I think most people picked the Dragons and the Raiders to be in the bottom 3 or 4 teams.
Dogs, probably.
And the Dogs are only just off the bottom. They've had one win against them.
I think the Sea Eagles are doing better than what everyone would have expected as well.
Well, most people had him in their top 4, 8.
Oh, no, they would have had him in the top 8.
It just shows what a difference this man makes.
Yeah. The Raiders, I think the Raiders and the Dragons have been standouts.
Yeah.
As far as we'll have to see how the Raiders go now without Jamal Fogarty.
Yeah.
But
his kicking game's been superb.
Yeah, Dragons are interesting. There you go.
Yep.
Okay. Gentlemen, we'll come to the end of the show. Anything intelligent you want in the show with?
You've tried but failed.
Yeah, it's failed, yes. Yeah. Tom?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
It was quick. That's what the best I could come up with. Look, I think it'll be great day on ANZAC Day.
Yeah.
The 4:00 game is always obviously the pinnacle, and it's a great afternoon. Sorry I can't be there, but it'd be great to watch. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for watching. You're with Tom, Brian and Steve, and this is From the Sidelines, and we will see you all again next week. Bye-bye.
See ya.